Today on the table, we are continuing our vest pocket series on 25 ACP vest pocket pistols. And today we're going over the Haenel Schmeisser vest pocket in 25 ACP. If you remember, in the second episode, we went over the Colts. This was maybe about 2 weeks ago. And then the very first episode, we went over the FN. And then in the fourth episode, this is the up-and-coming one. We'll go over that, as you will see here in a video in the next coming weeks or so. But the Haenel Schmeisser, so this is a 635 25 ACP semi-automatic pistol. It was designed by Hugo Schmeisser and manufactured by the gun manufacturer C.G.Haenel, which I can show you here. It says it right on there. So you can see here it says C.G.Haenel Suhl. Suhl is a city in Germany. And then it's the Schmeisser patent, which is, Haenel Schmeisser. So there were two models produced, the Model 1 and the Model 2. They were both this model. And they were both pocket pistols in the 635, which Schmeisser has the patents on. And there was around 40,000 of them made. So I've had this one for like 3 or 4 months. It's in basically perfect condition. It has its original grips with no chips or marks. I can show you just a quick safety check. It's funny how it kind of opens up when you see it just splits in half. I guess I can just show you here like this. So you can see here, there's nothing loaded in there. And you can look in there and see how it's kind of an interesting opening on how it opens. You can see that there, that mechanism. But it is nice. The fitment on it's crazy how nice it is. And then you can see here, it's this little 6-round 25 ACP magazine. You can see that there. And it is the original mag. So then, have that there. So like I said, about 40,000 of these were made. The manufacturing company was in Suhl, Germany. That's why you see the Suhl on here. So just a little bit more history about them, though, is... So the Prussian commissioner for firearms manufacturing, his name was Karl Haenel. Or actually, Colonel Gottlieb Haenel. So that's where you get the CG from. So he started making bicycles and weapons back in 1840. And then in 1887, Suhl, which was like a weapons designing business owned by, I think, C.W.Haenel is what it was. He joined the company in order to produce more firearms to kind of maybe get more out of the bicycle market, more into the weapons manufacturing. So he did that, and then they made a gun called the M1883, and that was some success. And then obviously with Schmeisser making those were pretty successful when he was making those. But what happened was the company did actually run into bankruptcy a few times between 1929 and 1934. But then in 1933, the company formed an association with 10 other companies in Germany, or in Suhl. And what they did was they kind of like guaranteed a share of, any armoring contracts for the Nazi, at least the Nazi government at the time back in the late 30s. So in 1935, there was a dramatic, obviously, increase in arms production to build up because World War II was going to start, or at least they had thought it was going to start there soon. And, obviously there was a new automatic firearm with an immediate cartridge, with an intermediate cartridge that was developed. So, and that was the MP43. Now, what you will see, or what this company that you see here, or Schmeisser, is known for, is their, or I guess it wouldn't be Schmeisser, but it'd be Haenel. What Haenel's known for is the MP40, that machine gun that you've seen before. It's a submachine gun. That one they ended up making a whole bunch for. And I think they made like 10,000 units just in 1943. But Hitler actually halted production on them for a while, because I think what he wanted to do was, he wanted mass produced, but he wanted more testing with the troops. And then it ended up, becoming a service weapon, and it was called the Sturm, you guys will have to correct me again, but it's like the Sturmgewehr 44. And, so obviously they made a whole bunch of those. And then following the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II, U.S. forces briefly occupied the city of Suhl, which is, again, where most of these were made, and imposed a production ban, which basically stopped all armor factories. And then in 2008, though, the company was reestablished. And it's actually, when it was reestablished, it used the adopted name, or it used its original name of C.G.Haenel. So when you look it up online, it will say that, C.G.Haenel is been around for 150 years or so because, you know, they consider it then still active, even though there was a brief period where they were not, you know, producing much. But if you have any, you know, Haenel pistols or any of the Schmeisser ones like this, or if you, I mean, heck, if you have an MP40, please, you know, comment on below. Let me know what you have. That would be really cool to hear about. And thanks again for watching.